Onion, olive, dill crackers are my most favorite raw cracker I've ever created. Because of the fact, the way I make it, I love it that it has all the speckles in it of the rainbow, pretty much. You can see that it's got the yellow and the red and the green and the purple. And then when you flip it over, it's a little lighter texture. But this was the onion, olive, dill cracker, and we're going to demo that one for you. I want to give you some tips on how to do the different types of scorings, how to make the little round patties, however you want to do that. But one of the best tips I can give you is when you go to do the onion, because you want the chunks that you're looking for to make it look beautiful, the best way of doing that I've found, instead of chopping to death, is to put an onion in some water, make sure that it's floating, and then just pulse it. Hold your lid tight. I just want it to be where it's chunked and flexed, and at this point I'm going to add the olives, and it looks like I have a skin in there. Looky looky. All right, well, if you find any floating skins, just pull them out. We're going to add the olive next. Now I want those olives also to be a little smaller than what they are, even though they're sliced, so that they come to be a good texture with the cracker. So we'll go ahead and do this again. Looks pretty good. It's nice and flexed in there where I can go ahead and drain this. That's why we have our strainer here. We're going to strain the water out. We're going to save the water. Because we're going to add part of the water back in here. But as you look at this, you can see the beautiful textures that we have in here. We've got the green, the orange, we've got the white, the purple. It's very beautiful, and that's the fleck that we're looking for our cracker. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. I have my almond pulp here. We're going to go ahead and put this in the blender. I've got time. We're adding the dill weed and the dill seed to this. Nope, we're going to actually fold that one in. And we're going to add some olive oil to this. I'm going to be adding about a half a cup of the onion water. We're going to put it right back in here because we need that liquid to work well with our onions, and then put this right back into our beloved blender. All right, so we're making a batter here, and that batter is going to start to just pulse it again one more time, and then we're going to add it to our bowl. So go, nice and mixed up. Beautiful. So if we need more onion water, we'll save that just in case. But at this point, we'll just push this right back into our bowl. The thing that are binding this for us, that we will get that beautiful Christmas, is number one, the almond pulp, which really is like almond flour. So if you don't have almond pulp, we can look for almond flour and use that, which is a blessing. I mean, they do sell that in the store, so if you're not making your own almond milk and you just really want these crackers, that's your next deal that you want to do. All right, we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our lovely ingredients. Oh, there's a little olive oil still in here. I'm just going to put in the dill seed. The reason I did it that way instead of putting it in the blender is because I want that fleck as well. I love the texture of this cracker, and it makes it just beautiful. So we're just going to stir that in. And that dill seed actually came from my garden, so it's very, very delicious. I'm going to add some salt, a little bit more salt. Crackers are always good salty. And what we're using for our binder actually will be ground flax meal for this one. In the Italian cracker, we use our chia. And when I did the corn cracker, we use the camelina seed. So you can actually switch those seeds and binders up however that works for you. But this is how I've chose to do this, and it comes out so delicious, light and fluffy and crunchy. So here's our batter, and it is ready to go into the dehydrator. We don't want it to be too dry because we want the air to take away the moisture, because if we add just too much of that binder, it's going to become real chewy, and we're not looking for that texture. So let's take a look at the different ways of actually doing our cracker. Let me clean this up just a bit so you can see what I'm doing. When I do the cracker on the Teflex sheet, or you can use parchment paper, whatever, that's what this plastic is. It's reusable, washable, great stuff. You can buy it from one that says Teflex. You get this one like this. It doesn't say that, but this is what we're after. We want to keep stirring this up and letting that binder work so that we get what we're after here. Now, I like the big rounds. I like that. I like the little rounds. I like that as well. So depending on what you're looking for, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take a spoon and you make the size that you'd like. So we're just going to add a bunch of these to our tray like this, about the same amount. Oops. And I'm going to show you different ways of doing this. Yeah. So this way, for just a circle, you're just going to pat these down, even around. Very simple. No rhyme or reason to it. So because they're not formed the same exact, you don't have to worry about it. You just kind of want to have them about the same height, same thickness, so that they dry the same. So you could do that all the way through your Teflex sheet. The other way of making a cracker is putting the batter onto your Teflex paper using what I call an offset spatula. So we have one that is tiny like this, and then we have the great big one like this. So I start out with the big one, and you just are going to take this and make it into one thickness. And as you can see, the reason I didn't do this with this cracker is because with all of the flecked up vegetables, it's a little hard to make it into one type of cracker. So that's why I chose to do the rounds. But just to show you how to actually lay out a batter is why I'm doing this with this. But you would take this all the way to the edge of your sheets, like fill the whole sheet up. And then once you get it to the thickness that you're after, then you would take a tool like this to score it with. You can take a tool like this also to score it with. So you could be scoring it like this with this tool and making your squares, which is quite easy. Or you can, if you wanted to make some kind of crazy thing, you could do it like that, or however you wanted to score them, any direction or angle, you could do it like that, and then dehydrate those. That's pretty much crackers. I love the way that they're simple to make and they're creative as well. It doesn't matter what flavor you're after. You could pick any spice, any oil, any binder, any vegetable, leftover stuff, blend it up and put it on a dehydrated sheet with a binder and let it make its cracker. This is an amazing, amazing creative ride. Whatever kind of cracker you want to make in the dehydrator, nothing will stop you. The moon is the limit.